Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to layout update number 7. I know it's been a while. I'm happy to say that I'm going to begin restoring my modules or my layout to its original form. But I have a little problem with the wiring. I kind of want to clean up the wiring and make one bus line for all my lights. And I also want to hook up my Grade Crossing Pro and my block animator. Install some Tortoise switch machines for the crossing gates, and I also have a sound module and a speaker in the mail, so I'll be installing that. And also want to do some lights here in the yard, and have a Woodland Scenics Just Plug light port and adapter also in the mail. So I'll be hooking up the yard here with some lights, and my my yard office there with some gooseneck lights, or maybe one light. Some wooden pole lights for the yard. So let's go ahead and take a look underneath and see what we got. Alright, here we are underneath the layout. All the wires are cut because I thought I was going to be moving and putting my layout in storage, but that did not end up happening. You know, life happens. So basically what I want to do is get rid of this little central control panel thing that I thought was a good idea back in, I think it was layout update number 3. Since they are modules, and if I ever have to break this thing apart and move it, well, I have to mess with all this wiring and hook it back up, so that doesn't make any sense. So what I'll be doing is basically consolidating all the wiring. These blue and green wires here are my IR sensors for my Grade Crossing Pro and block animator. So I'll probably be mounting the 2 of those right here. Again, just cleaning up the wiring. But for now, the first thing I need to do is get everything that's not glued down off the layout. I'm going to try to maybe, if I can, put this thing on its side, or at least halfway, because I hate being down on my knees and working above my head doing wiring. If I can get this thing tilted on its side somewhat, that's going to make life a lot easier. So enough of me gabbing. I'm going to get to work here and start taking everything off. Okay, so I got everything off the layout and tilted it on its side. Yeah, that wasn't nerve-wracking at all. So next thing I want to do is I might use a piece of wood to run across all the legs, and basically I want to hoist it up just a little bit more to be able to kick that box underneath. But yeah, we got it up in the air, somewhat vertical, a couple feet off the ground, and that's going to make life a lot easier. Be able to access all the wiring, do what I need to do. Okay, so here's the progress I've made so far. As you can see, the wiring is a lot cleaner, more organized, and just looks better. So I did end up putting my power strip up here behind the fascia and running the power to my block animator like so. And next I want to tackle my Grade Crossing Pro and the sound module that's on its way in the mail. I'll be putting those right here. So I need to clean up all this wiring and make some room for the Tortoise switch machines. So I'll be tackling this section next. Okay, it's a new day, and I've made some more progress on the wiring upgrades here on the layout. First, let me start by saying I mixed up my transformers. I had them crossed, so I had to fix that. On the left here, I installed the Grade Crossing Pro and received my sound module and speaker in the mail, so I hooked that up, and it sounds pretty good. I'll give you a demonstration here in a minute. Another thing I did was clean up the wiring here. So this will be the next portion of the wiring fun I have to deal with. Okay, so I'm going to give you a little demonstration here on how this works. So I'm going to go up here and turn on my power strip, and I'm going to go ahead and wave my hand over the IR sensors to activate it. So this thing's pretty cool. You can adjust the volume here with a screwdriver. It gets pretty loud. It's really cool. I like it. It works good. So once the bell stops ringing, the switch machine will operate the gate and bringing it back up to the up position. Alright, I got one of my Tortoise machines hooked up to one of my gate arms, and as you can see, it's nice and flush with the bottom of the layout. And what I did here is basically just soldered the actuating rod and the rod that feeds my my crossing gate arm there, and use some double-sided tape to just be a little more helpful in moving it around. So if it wasn't working in one spot, I'd just take it off and re-stick it to another spot. And after a lot of adjusting, I got it working just right. I locked it in with a bead of hot glue on each side, and I don't think that thing's going to be going anywhere. And I just received my other Tortoise machine in the mail, so I need to install it right over here. You can see that rod poking out there. So all this wiring right here is kind of in the way, so I'm going to need to move all this. So all these blue and white wires here feed my street lights, my traffic lights, and this terminal strip over here which feeds my hotel, and the other one over here which feeds my gas station. The traffic lights are all right here. That was a bad day. I don't want to get into that one, but alright, so through the magic of editing, I've got everything hooked up. I reran all the wires down to this terminal strip here for all my traffic lights and street lights, and on the other side got both switch machines hooked up to the crossing gates. Everything's working good. Again, I got the sound module there, Great Crossing Pro, block animator. I even got the Woodland Scenics Just Plug and Play light hub there. So I'm going to install some lights and test that out, see how that works. And I even did my main bus line for my track power. These ones here feed the yard. And this pigtail right here is going to go to my Digitrax Zephyr. And over here I added some butt connectors. So yeah, it's coming out good. Looks a lot better, I think. I don't have a big plume of wires going to the ugly white board. And I'm happy with the progress. So the next thing I need to do now is carefully flip this thing back over on its feet and see what kind of mess I made up top. Well, besides ballast getting all over the couple buildings and the McDonald's popping off, the layout fared pretty well. It's okay. I was kind of thinking about putting lights in McDonald's anyway, so I guess it happened for a reason. So here's the ballast I was mentioning earlier. Got all over the bushes and the buildings, some in the McDonald's and the gas station, a little bit on the Jack in the Box, but oh well. Should have thought about these two yard tracks I had flopping around here. Kept catching my shirt here on the end when I was walking by, but totally spaced that one. So here are the Woodland Scenics Just Plug lights. installed in the yard. I was going to make a little segment in this update on how I installed them, but it was just running a little too long, so I'll probably put out a second video, or a video showing how I installed them. So let me hit the lights and we'll see what they look like with the lights off. So as you can see, they're plenty bright, especially the one over the door at the office, but I really like them. They're very cool, and I think the color temperature is just right for an incandescent light. And overall impression, I'm impressed. I like it a lot. They're not very hard to hook up. You know, the details real nice. And another cool feature, if you're not familiar with the light hub, it does have a dimmer control on it. So for instance, I think this light here over the door is just a little too bright. So what I can do is turning the lights back on. Come down underneath here to the light hub, and there's 4 dimmer controls on there, but we only have 1 and 2 hooked up at the moment, so we can go ahead and adjust those. That looks a little better. So my overall take on the lights and the little system is 2 thumbs up. Definitely recommend it, and I definitely will be buying more. So now for the moment I've been waiting for, and I'm sure you have too. I'm excited to test out these crossing gates here. So I'm going to go ahead and get my locomotive set up, and we'll start doing some run-bys, testing out the crossing gates and the block signal I have hooked up. Alright, so I just wanted to give a quick rundown on how the Grade Crossing Pro works. It uses IR detection, that's infrared, and it uses a set of 4 emitters and detectors, and what they look like right there. So the one on the left is the detector and the clear looking one is the emitter. So as soon as the train crosses this detector, the lights will flash and the gate will go down, and assuming the train reaches its second signal here, not signal but detector, they'll continue to flash, and assuming the train reaches the other detector here and clears that, about 2 seconds later the gates will go up and the lights will go off, and it works the same both ways. Just don't have the 4th one hooked up yet, but it also works the same for the block animator and operates the signal in a semi-prototypical way. So that being said, I just wanted to give a quick rundown on how that works in case anybody out there was kind of wondering. Alright, so the crossing gates work pretty good. They're not perfect, but good enough for me. And I'd like to give a shout out to a friend of mine, Dave, also known as Are You a Train Man 2, for being so kind to send me this cool John Deere tractor and this trailer. Thanks, Dave, I appreciate it. And you may have noticed I picked up some new tank cars here. These are the infamous oil cans that used to run over the loop. Now they're here on the coast route. So I'll probably be picking up some more of those and weathering to look like their current state. Now they're known as the rust cans. On a side note, I've been trying to catch that train for weeks now. It runs from the oil fields up in San Ardo up north down to Dolores, but one of these days I'll catch it. But yeah, so that's layout update number 7, the wiring improvements and the new addition of the Just Plug lights. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for more. And if you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to clank that bell, because I have a lot more coming. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.